Hi, everybody. I'm going to go through the 6.3b notes with you, and this would have been in the textbook, page 283 to 285. But the point of this lesson is if you have a data set and you're not sure if it's normal or not, you can go through 4 steps that we're going to talk about to determine if it's normal. Some things we know are normal, average height of children or ACT scores or SAT scores. So a lot of times in a problem, they'll just tell you, hey, this is normally distributed. What do we do with data that we're not sure if it's normally distributed or not? We're going to go through 4 steps. The first one is you can look at a histogram and see if it looks like a normal curve. Does it look bell-shaped? So that's pretty easy just by viewing a histogram. Another thing we can do is look if there's outliers. There should not be more than one outlier. So one outlier is okay. No outliers are great. And I'm going to show you guys on the next couple pages here, there's a little formula about determining if there is an actual outlier. Another thing we can look at is for skewness. Remember, we've talked about right skewed and left skewed. And there's this formula called Pearson's Index. And you should recognize what all these symbols are. You're going to look at the mean, the median, and the standard deviation. If you have a value greater than 1 or less than -1, it means the data is skewed. We do not want data to be skewed. We want it to be normal. So the opposite saying would be if it's between -1 and 1, that's good. It looks normal. And finally, another graph we can look at is called a normal quantile plot. And basically, it's a scatter plot that's made like on a computer application. And you hope that all the points lie close to a straight line once you make the scatter plot or look at the scatter plot. So let's do an example problem. And this is on your notes. So here's some data we're looking at. It's kind of all blended in together. Hard to tell what's going on. So let's look at a histogram. And would you guys agree this looks pretty normal, looks like a bell shape. So I gave that a check mark. That's good. Looking at a box and whisker plot, and our calculators will do this as well. It'll show if there's an outlier. There is one outlier, and remember, one outlier is okay. So the first 2 steps, I would say yes, that's good. The third thing is this Pearson index. And so again, the 3 is always a 3. This is the mean and the median. And those are given to us, okay, like from this computer printout, divided by the standard deviation, and we get -0.04. So -0.04 is a great number. It definitely is between -1 and 1, and that's what we want to see. But here I'm going to talk to you guys about the outlier rule. It's 1.5 times the IQR. So if you guys remember, the IQR is the interquartile range. So Q1 is 18. And Q3 is 21. So the IQR would be 21 minus 18, which is 3. So you guys know 1.5 times 3 is 4.5. So here's how we're going to determine if we have an outlier or not. Okay, we're going to look at that 4.5 and we're going to go to Q1 and we're going to subtract 4.5. So 18 minus 4.5 is 13.5. So 13.5 would be like the very lowest value we would be allowed. So let's look at our minimum value. Our minimum is 13, meaning that is an outlier. Now for Q3, if we add the 4.5, we get 25.5. And if we have any numbers higher than that, that's considered an outlier. Well, let's look at our maximum is only 25, so that's okay. So what we notice is we do have one outlier in the data, and that's allowed, that's okay. And finally, the 4th thing to check is called a normal quantile plot, and it has been given to us. We notice these are close to a straight line. That's great. That's what we want to see. So our final conclusion is the histogram is good. There's only one outlier. Pearson's index is good. The normal quantile plot is good. So it appears this data is approximately normal. So you are going to do one question like that, number 4, and that's given to you. And you also are going to do number 38, which is like a review question. So hopefully everything goes well with you, and I'll see you next time in class. And you can just show me these 2 questions when you're done or when you're in class next.